Hello Sunshine, this is Joy from Michigan in the US, and this is one of my Art 1 videos for my niece. So our assignment this week, we are gonna do a little painting. We have Halloween coming up at the end of the week, so I thought it would be fun to do a silhouette painting. So this is gonna be done in stages. This is basically like doing, I don't know, 3 or 4 paintings on one canvas. So keep that in mind as you start this process. Don't expect it to be done in one day. I'll be watching for evidence of extra time spent on this. So this is not a quick project. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint a moon in the center and then colors around it. You can pick whatever colors you want. I'm going with blues and greens. I will probably add for the second layer some reds and some oranges and yellows and just bright fun colors. So I'm going to do step 1, which is just getting our background in place. I'm using paints that all have Floetrol in them because that's what I have handy. You can just use regular tubes of paint, whatever you have laying around. So I'm going to start with white. So we're going to start in the center, and I'm actually going to go up a little bit higher than center. I'm thinking I want to do a cat. So when you're doing a silhouette painting, you don't want the background to be too dark, otherwise you're not going to see the silhouette. So the things you're going to need today: paint brushes, something to paint on a canvas or whatever you may have handy. This is just a canvas panel, it's an 8 by 10. I also have a spray bottle just with water in it. In case my canvas feels a little too dry, I can add some water to it to kind of make it easier to move the paint around. This might actually be easier if I had paint that did not have glue in it, but that's okay. So you can just, with your paint tubes, just do exactly what you see me doing here. I'm just adding colors kind of in a ring. Doesn't have to be exact. And whatever colors you want. And then we're just going to kind of spread those around. And I'm not cleaning my brush. I'm going to use a dirty brush for this. So just kind of working the paint around. This would be easier, I can tell already, with a thicker paint. So if your paint is thicker than mine, you're probably going to have an easier time achieving the look I want. Having these pre-mixed paints, these are mixed for acrylic pours. And one of the things that's wonderful when you're doing acrylic pour is that these paints take longer to dry because they've got glue in them. It also means I'll have a little more working time with them on the canvas, but it might be too much working time. So we're just going to keep going around in a circular pattern. I am taking this green all the way to the edges, although I will be covering that up with some darker colors. All right, I am going to pause this video here and start a new one so I can put it at double speed. So keep in mind, anything you see from this point out is probably a sped up video. All right, back with you, and I decided I'm going to keep that beginning portion on this video so you can see what happens when you mess up. I quickly saw that that paint was just not going to work. It would take way too long to dry, and with the look that I'm trying to achieve, that's just not going to work. So I'm going to just tubes of regular paint, nothing added. That is titanium white, but again, you can do whatever colors you like. I put that a little bit low, so I'm just moving that white up to the center. And then I will probably just add dots rather than an entire line, because it would be too much paint, because this is real thick paint. I didn't mean to do that. It's okay. We'll work around it. That was sky blue. This is cerulean blue, which is just slightly darker. want some lake blue in there because that's my favorite. It's a very turquoisey color. Oh, this is a brand new one. All right, let's get some of this in here. And I'm doing more on the bottom because I'm going to have more color to fill in there. And then this is one of my favorite blues too, Phthalo blue. It's a very deep, it dries almost black. So if you're using these same colors, just keep that in mind. It does tend to go very dark. And then I have this turquoise green that I may or may not use. We will see. I hope you guys can see okay. I'm not with my usual setup because my art room is a mess and freezing. So this is working much better. So I'm just kind of taking my colors and blending them out, and I want them mixed. I don't want just a true one color in each spot. So work on your blending strokes. We will have some lines showing on purpose, but for this first layer, we just want to blend it. See that little clump? Get that out there. There we go. And I'm going to do all my brush strokes in a circular pattern because I want to emphasize the shape of the moon that will be in the middle. So just keep same brush, no cleaning. I'm not adding water, nothing like that. And I'm intentionally not going into my deepest color yet. I'm just spreading the other colors around and blending them as I go. And I've got way too much paint. And look at all that paint on the brush. I don't know if you can tell how much that is. It's a lot. So I'm going to just get rid of that. I got into that phthalo blue a little bit, which is okay. All right. I can tell already I'm going to need to lighten this up, but that's okay. And you can see my circle is not very circular, but that's okay. It's one of those things we'll go back and fix as we go. You can try to kind of fix it a little bit now, but we'll make it bigger. That's too small. All right, so we're gonna blend, blend, blend. And now I'm going to look at all the extra paint on my brush. I'm going to get rid of that. I actually think I'm just going to wipe it there and go into this deep blue. I want my corners nice and dark so that it kind of gives a little more depth to the painting. It gives it that darker as we're going out. Look how pretty these colors look together. It's looking really nice. So let's do the same thing over here. And I'm liking the lines I'm getting, so I'm not blending as much as I told you to. I'm not doing what I said. One of those do as I say, not as I do kind of things. Not really. If you're finding that you like the lines that you're getting, then stick with that. But we're going to do multiple layers, so don't fall too much in love with what you see on your canvas because it's going to change as we go. This is just part one. I'm really liking this phthalo blue on the edges. I think that adds a lot. And now I'm just trying to blend. There are some pretty lines here, but I really want this to be a little better blended. And the next layer, when we come in, it will have more texture to it, more lines and variation in the color, where this I want to be soft. It'll help us practice our blending. So So if you're seeing hard lines, just do your best to blend those together. And if you need to, just like I did, I don't know if you can see, I'm just wiping this, where can you see? Over here. Just wiping it right onto my drop cloth, which is just a garbage bag, nothing fancy. And then go back in, dry brush. I'm not adding any water, nothing fancy, just keep working with your paint. Okay, I'm going to continue to add colors and blend, and I will put this at a quicker speed for you so that you don't have to watch this in real time. All right, so this is stage one. I apologize for the glare. If you watched as I was doing the middle, I was getting brush strokes on that white that I didn't want. That's because the underlayer was very dry. So this has half dried, half wet. So I'm gonna let this dry and then we will move on to step 2 in the next video. So again, keep in mind for my Art 1 students, this is a 3 to 4 part project. Don't try to rush through it. Take your time with this so that we can have the final result that we're looking for. See you guys on the next one.